Hi guys, so we've literally just finished filming this video. Literally ended the call.
Everything was just
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Just said, right, Nyland, I'll drive you socially distanced to Norwich. Yeah, Tim Krul's got corona, so we kind of really need a goalkeeper now.
Yeah, we're desperate for one. So if Nyland could sign this week, preferably, that'd be great. No,
Yeah.
in all seriousness, we literally jumped off the call and both got the notification from the Athletic on our phones, literally as we hung up, which is absolutely typical. But yeah, we need him even more now, Jacob, basically.
Well, yes, because you think football, I think, is getting towards the stage now where it could potentially get suspended.
Yes.
But if you're thinking in general, yeah, you do need a goalkeeper now because Dan Barden, but really not Dan Barden and John McCracken. Oh, potentially very good goalkeepers in the future, but you cannot rely on both of them. I worry about Cardiff away in that championship game. I don't know what the rules are for Tim Krul there now, but yeah, Ørjan, we're coming for you.
Yeah. And just before the video gets going, obviously wish the best to Tim Krul in his recovery, and I think they're a couple. Yeah, they are named at the minute.
Yeah, I think they start, okay. But yeah, hopefully they're all safe and keep well, and hope all of you do as well.
Yeah, get well soon. But enjoy the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Canary Cast. Good to see you back here. Hope you're well. Don't forget, like, comment and subscribe. That'd be lovely. Me and Jacob are here to talk about the rumours surrounding Ørjan Nyland, the keeper, currently on a free transfer that Norwich are rumoured with. You'll recognise the name probably from Villa. Jacob, initial reaction to the rumour?
Yeah, fine for a number two. Yeah, it's fine, isn't it? Like, I think the only thing is you think number two not going to play very much, but as we've seen this season, it could easily happen. Slightly better at the ball, on the ball with his feet than McGovern, which I don't think is difficult. I think I could probably kick further, but he's fine. He's fine at number two, but does have an error in him, which I think we'll go on to.
Yeah, he's 30 years old, which is 2 years younger than Krul, and keepers go a bit longer than outfield players. But he's had this back injury. Villa cancelled his contract by mutual consent, and then he's had his back surgery in November, so he hasn't played since he's had this surgery. Does that worry you at all?
No, because you look at it like you say, you hope Tim Krul's more often than not going to be fit. You do have Dan Barden in reserve. I just think for the experience, I love youth in pretty much every position, but in goal, it's such a, if you make a couple of mistakes, if Dan Barden makes a couple of mistakes, that's what you're stamped with. You remember Michael Fear-Kalitis, like that Colchester game, never played again. Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly what you think they'd be. You can imagine centre-backs in that game who made horrible mistakes, went on and played others, and were absolutely fine. And you just think in that position, you want someone who's there to kind of crawl up enough. Because for me, I don't know if he plays, hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't see him playing 23 games in a row. For the rest of the season.
No. A quick word on McGovern. He's obviously out injured. He's got this hamstring problem. His contract's up in the summer. Do you think we'll see him again or not?
I hope we keep him on as a coach or something like that, because to tell you what, if we go up, he's played a big part in that. 10 games all in all, and that's very good achievement for a 36-year-old keeper who hasn't played in a couple of years properly, has he? And he looked at the end very good, very comfortable, and very actually confident. It was really nice to see. We've heard so many times about how good a character he is for the changing room and how he's helped all of the young players with the experience. And I tell you what, he just seems a really nice guy. So hopefully, I think we will keep him on. I think Daniel Farke is a big fan of him, and it's quite easy to do, isn't it, in terms of ex-goalie, to stick him in as a beneficiary goalkeeper coach for the rest of the team. Yeah,
it does make sense. Okay, back to Nyland. Played for Molde, Ingolstadt, Villa, of course, and he's got 28 Norway caps. So it's not a bad CV.
He's experienced, isn't he? Like I say, good with the ball at his feet, but in the air, he's questionable. That infamous Sheffield United goal that never was, where he bundled into the net, where it's just a simple routine catch. And you think maybe it's difficult to judge him because, again, he hasn't played that as many games as probably he's in a slight McGovern situation where he's been a number two for a while. It didn't really work out as number one at Villa, but in the Carabao Cup semi-final last year against Leicester, he made a couple of really incredible saves. You think he's a good shot stopper. So he's in the pure basics of playing out of the back in the Daniel Farke system and stopping shots, he'll be good at. It's just the rest of it. I remember watching quite a few times where Villa were penned back from corners because he's in goal. He doesn't feel confident enough to come out. he's not nowhere near the level of Tim Krul, but he's a level above Dan Barden, which is needed, because I think Dan Barden needs to go out and get some game time at a lower level, less spotlight on him, because I think the worst thing that could happen to him is if he's having to come in for 3-4 games, it's sink or swim, innit? And I don't want him to sink straight away. I want to give him time. I think Angus Gunn's the only anomaly that I can remember. A young goalkeeper recently for Norwich being absolutely fine. So I'd much rather let him go out in a less spotlight, less pressure, like Archie Mayer is doing at Kings Lynn, having a really good loan spell there, and then come back to Norwich and be able to kind of, push for a first team place.
Yeah. The injury aside, hopefully that's all fine, but you never know. The only concern I really have is, if you remember when we first signed Tim Krul, he hadn't played a lot of football, he'd had an injury, and it took him, 3 or 4 months to get up to speed?
Yeah, you'd say so.
If the case is the same with Nyland, but he's backup keeper, he's never, or initially, unless Tim Krul gets a bad injury, he's not going to play that much. So is he going to get up to speed, or is he always going to be left in reserve and we'll drag him out for the occasional game and never really get going, if you understand what I mean?
I don't think that's a bad thing, though, because you just need that cover for Krul. And he has championship experience, which I think is key in terms of knowing how these teams work, whilst he can improve in those areas. And hopefully you get the coaches improving his kind of physique slightly. That back injury may have been causing issues to the back of last season, where he did play in the Premier League. Let's not forget, played in the Premier League last season, when there was injuries there for Villa, and at times played really well. There were games where he's just so hit and miss. It's very difficult to kind of put down and say this is a consistent keeper, but you never know over running games. I think it's key to have someone come in with experience as backup to Krul, simply because even in the most recent game against Barnsley, you could see Tim Krul was not following through those kicks. I think it's far too risky for him in the long term, and I'm looking at next season as well as this season to think there's no point risking him because he is so key, because you could potentially tear something in those
brand new contract as well.
And that's what I mean. You want value for money, and Tim wants to play. You don't want a keeper who of obvious quality getting injured simply because we haven't been proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah. One last thing, work permit. I haven't confirmed this yet, but I'm just going off prior knowledge. Because he left Villa by mutual consent at the start of October, I'm unsure as to whether he has settled status, because the laws came in on the 1st of January, and obviously he wasn't contracted by a club at that point. So I'm wondering if we have to get a work permit for him. He's got plenty of Norway caps. You would imagine it would go through on appeal or something like that. I'll have to research that and get back to you. But I think that is the one concern in terms of recruiting him, because obviously it's going to cost nothing.
That's going to be a lot of future kind of recruitment issues, isn't it? You saw the interview that Michael Bailey did with Kieran Scott, which was really good.
Yeah,
so you can just tell that they're going to have to be very flexible in the future. And Nyland probably fits the bill simply because he is experienced, has been in England, has got enough caps sort of thing. But yeah, that will be we look at half, pretty much you'd say majority of that first team 11 doesn't really fit into the Brexit rules now, does it? So it's a big kind of future for Norwich. I imagine that English football quality is going to go completely down the shitter.
Be a lot of League One and League Two players in the Championship, that sort of thing.
A lot of British players will be very happy with this because they will get it back into another level. But for the competition integrity of the game, it's a shame because we are the main beneficiaries at the moment. We haven't had that really before, where we've had so many kind of players from a certain area, have we? It's normally been British based. And obviously, Daniel Farke wouldn't have been able to come here. But yeah, it makes it a little bit more tricky. But all in all, I think going back to Nyland, good enough for a number 2, better than Barden is at the moment, gives him the opportunity to go out on a loan, decent with the ball at his feet, which is key. And whilst dodgy in the air, potentially could improve if given a consistent run of games.
And of course, we do just need a backup keeper with McGovern's contract up in the summer. If you want to look at it simplistically, we just need number 2.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's such a unique situation, isn't it? We said in the summer that we felt we needed the number 2, but to be able to persuade a footballer to not play football is a really difficult one. And Tim Krul is levels above anyone else we're going to bring in. So for me, it's a deal that needs to be done. If it's not him, then someone of that ilk who has played in England always helps and has experience enough to be able to go, yeah, okay, I'm comfortable number 2. I think it's an opportunity for him. He's got to look at that and say, Tim Krul does get an injury. He's got an injury in each of his seasons. And you think, okay, this is for the last couple of years, from 30, 31, he's now 32. Are those injuries going to get worse? He's got an opportunity if he joins.
Yeah, spot on. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll keep you posted if this deal goes through. We'll probably do another video or something. But until then, like, comment and subscribe and take care of yourselves. Cheers.